On today's episode, we talk about leasing, and we follow up on an older podcast. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about cars, yo.
So what do you end up doing with the lease?
With the lease.
Remember on the last podcast?
I think it was the last.
The last podcast we were talking about the different. No, it wasn't the last. It was like 2 podcasts before or something like that. We were talking about the difference between.
We're gonna link it below. The part 1 for this
the part
podcast.
1 of this one. We were pretty much talking about the difference between leasing a vehicle
and
financing a vehicle. And in that conversation came up, your wife was had a lease and it was due
coming to an end.
So you guys were debating all of that. So yeah, tell us about it.
So basically what we found out, we went to the Range Rover dealership, okay? And remember, when you're leasing a car, you have a contract for the specific term. After the term, you have a lot of options. The easiest option is for you to return the car, and that's it. You know, you have completed your commitment with the leasing company, right? You don't owe anything else. You don't have any car, nothing, okay? And then you also know your buyout, okay, which is the amount.
From the beginning.
That day one, how much you have to pay at the beginning, at the end of the lease, if you want to buy the car, okay? So what we found out is that, the buyout on this car was about $47,000, if I'm not mistaken. The trading value, which is what the dealership was giving us, guess what? Obviously was way below that. It was about $38,000. So we were about $9,000 upside down in case that we wanted to trade the car in, okay, for another one, right? Everything's good with the audio there? Yep. Okay. Good. So that was not an option, or a really bad option, because the car was worth way less than what you had to pay to the bank in order to own it and then trade it in. So no option there, okay? So the only option we had pretty much which is what we ended up doing, is just return the lease, which we still have it, but we know we're going to return it. We already made the last payment. After you make the last payment, like I said, you finalize the contract. You already did everything what you were supposed to do, so you can just return it. Okay? And my wife, she was open for even a used car, like a newer model, but for private reasons, she couldn't go through a specific band, so her only option was to lease a car again, okay? But I told, look, let's sort of find a different brand, a brand that hopefully is not going to depreciate as much as a Range Rover.
It's not going to lose as much value.
Because the leasing, they calculate the leasing terms based on the depreciation of the vehicle. But what happened here is that obviously the Range Rover lost value quicker than the anticipated depreciation. So that's why we were upside down.
At that time, you guys didn't calculate anything.
We didn't know much.
Just whatever the dealer said, you were like, all right.
Exactly. So, now we had some more knowledge and all that stuff. So we ended up buying a Lexus, which is a Toyota brand, tends not to lose so much value. So we sat down, she found the car that she liked, beautiful car. She was happy with everything. So we sat down with the sales manager and tried to talk about the numbers. And we told her, hey, look, we want to pay. We have this much available for down payment. One of the things that the sales manager appreciated is that we were upfront with everything, Right. Like, don't be mysterious about how much you have. I know sometimes customers feel like if you tell them how much you have, they might try to take advantage of you. But we are knowledgeable about all the numbers and everything. So we tell, look, we have this much up front. Let's sort of work a deal. You know, we have a budget. We want to stay
Right.
under a certain monthly payment, and we need this many miles a year.
Yeah, and I think it's a combination as well, because I understand why people don't say it at the beginning, because like they don't say how much they have, or maybe they have 5,000 for a down, but they say, oh, we only have 3,
Right.
and they say that just trying to get a better deal,
Right.
just trying to negotiate
But
and not to get ripped off. But the thing is, if you do that because you don't have, quote unquote, you don't have power, because maybe you don't have as much knowledge on
yeah.
on everything, how loans work and all of
Exactly.
that. But like, for example, in that case, you did it because no matter what, they're
'Cause
not going to be able to rip you off, because you know all the
I
numbers
know what
and
I'm
how
trying
the
to
loan.
achieve. You know, because let's say it was unrealistic. If I wanted to have a payment of $700, it was unrealistic financially to put no down payment and have $700 payment.
Exactly.
Impossible. Like,
Right.
there was impossible. So I told the salesman, this is what we're trying to achieve. You know, we have this much down payment. We want to stay at that, below that much, but we need this many miles. Okay. You know, I try to be upfront, because we get a lot of like, when we ask them how much down payment you have available, it's not that we're trying to take advantage of you. It's just that I'm trying to see if what you want to have, if you say, I want to have payments of $200, but then you're buying at $30,000 down payment,
Right.
and I don't know how much down payment you have. I don't even know if it's going to be financially
Right.
possible. That's
Yeah.
the only reason.
Yeah, that question is,
If it's going to be real or not, like your
before we even
expectation.
start doing all the numbers, I have some experience. So what do you have? That's not even possible.
Exactly.
Or that is possible.
Exactly.
Or
Let's
that we're,
see what
we're
we can
close.
do.
Let's
Yeah.
work it out. So that's why.
Okay.
People ask.
So
that.
we told them, look, we have this much. Let's try to work a deal. So they came back. The Lexus Financial Factory gave us a rebate, which I think was pretty good. They gave us a discount on the price, and they came in with the first offer, and then I came back at them and told, look, let's try to get a little bit more off of the price. But the main thing is that the residual value that we saw, the residual value is what you will have to pay at the end of the lease. I found it very nice because I did a quick calculation. This is expected. You know, you cannot predict the future,
Right.
but you can get an idea. So what I did is that I went on Car Gurus, right, and searched the same vehicle, Lexus GX, 3 years older with about 45,000 miles, which is, if this will be our car, the Lexus
3
we bought in
years.
3 years.
Right.
Expected.
Smart.
3 years older, 3 years old with 45,000 miles. And I looked up.
Because you guys
today's
got a
value.
new car, right?
Brand new.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Okay.
So I did the expected value, okay, and in market's value. Because you can go by the books, but it's going to be off, you know. So we found that a 3-year-old Lexus GX with about 45,000 miles, it was going in the market for over $40,000, over 40 something. No, 30 something.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 something, which was higher than the residual amount. So that gives
Technically, you'll have equity.
we'll have equity at the end of the lease. Technically, obviously, we cannot predict it, but you can get an idea, right? If the value of the car 3 years from today is higher than the residual
Right.
value.
But still, they're gonna offer you less.
Of course, they're gonna try to offer you the trading value, which is lower than the than
Which
the
is
market.
what happened with the Range Rover.
Yeah,
Your
but
residual was 40
even the market
something,
value was.
but they offer you 30 something.
But the market value wasn't even close to the 47,000. I was better off returning that one, buying another one. You know, I will buy for cheaper than the residual value. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
This one, you're gonna be able to buy it at a good price
maybe, or trade it in.
or trade it in.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna see.
But the thing is that the trade in, you're pretty much depending on their offer.
On what they offer. Yeah.
But no matter what, at the end of the loan, of the lease, sorry, you'll be able to buy the car for a good price.
Right. Technically.
Technically.
Even if they offer me, a trading value the same as the buyout, I'm gonna benefit because I can put that towards the next deal, and that's gonna help me take money off of the taxes. You know what I mean? It doesn't reduce the amount that I'm buying the other car for, but that's gonna help me with the taxes. I get a break on the taxes. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. They probably won't offer you the same of the buyout because they didn't.
That's why we don't.
Range Rover.
No, but the thing is that with the Range Rover, like I said,
lost too much value.
Way quicker. That's what I'm saying. So, but there was a substantial difference for these Lexus. There was a substantial difference on the residual amount compared to the market value. So we might be able to get some positive equity. But here's what happened. We were happy with everything, but they did something sketchy to us, man. I don't know if I told you. I think I did. We went in and signed all the contracts and everything. And I always make sure to read all the numbers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And on the contract, they try to get us to sign. The residual amount was higher than what they offer first. And I saw that. I told them, like, look, the residual amount that you gave me first is not the same that you have on the contract that we're about to sign, which is, it's not proper,
Right.
Because now you're changing everything. They brought it up to the manager. They said, "Oh, it was a mistake." They didn't want to honor anything. But at the end, they took it off of the price. So obviously, we're paying less what we wanted, throughout the lease. But I didn't, I left the dealership with a very sour, flavor in my mouth. But I found that problem because, or I don't know if it was a mistake on their part or they really tried to pull something on us. But I knew, I was prepared. I had knowledge. Anybody else wouldn't even realize.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wouldn't notice.
They wouldn't notice. But yeah, that's what we ended up doing. We ended up doing another lease, which I think we did we got a good deal. They took a little bit off of the price. We got some rebates. We got the miles that we wanted and the payment that we wanted. And they took a little bit more because of what they did on the residual amount. The residual amount stayed the same, but they took it off of the price, so.
Right. And why do you guys end up doing new instead of used?
Because they wouldn't do leasing on used cars. And we were looking for one specific car, the Lexus GX. And if you wanted to do used, you had to finance it.
Yeah.
And because of my wife, she couldn't finance the car.
But it's hard, and it's harder to find, because usually lease, they do it on new cars. They do it in some used cars, but it's not as easy to find the car that you want if it's used.
And apparently Lexus Financial doesn't do leasing on used cars.
Right. Okay, so Lexus doesn't do.
That's what I asked them.
Because that on the last podcast on the podcast that we were talking about it, that's what probably the best scenario was, because you lose less, even less on the car because it's already lost,
and you're paying less too. Yeah.
So yeah.
And also, I searched for used Lexus, and the ones available had too many miles. Like a year old, and they already had 30,000 miles, so it was too high, and also not the color that we were looking for. So it wasn't too many cars available in the market, obviously.
You didn't have too many options.
No. So that's what we ended up doing. We leased this new car. The Range Rover is going to go back to the leasing company, to the bank, because we already completed the agreement. So
right.
It's done. And so I guess we'll see in 3 years from now and see what happens with this Lexus.
And how do you feel after now that you have knowledge of like how everything works? Because owning a dealership and all of that, how do you feel that deal when you feel like you did a good deal?
I think we did pretty good.
Deal?
Yeah, I think we did pretty good. Yeah.
So I guess leasing is a viable option too.
It is. Yeah. If it's not for everybody, obviously, because if you put a lot of miles on the car, it doesn't work for you, because you're gonna end up paying a lot.
How many miles you got?
15,000.
15,
which is a lot.
It's a lot for a lease, right?
For a lease.
Usually it's 12.
It's unusual. I mean, they still do it, but it's unusual. Most of the people do like 10,000, 12,000 miles lease, but we requested 15,000 and we got it, and within what we wanted. So, but it's unusual. It's on the higher.
Right. So I guess, lease is you can get a good deal doing a lease for the type of people that fit that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like if you drive more than 15,000 miles or something like that, you're not going to be able to do a lease.
Too much.
Yeah, it's going to be too expensive because it probably gets really expensive after you pass the miles.
They charge you per mile.
Right. And you also have to be that's what I think. You also have to be a person that wants to change the car in 3 years.
Yeah.
Because if you are a person that is thinking about keeping the car longer than that, you're probably better off
totally
buying it than doing a lease.
Yeah.
You're gonna save more money doing that.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So lease is good. It's not for everybody, but you are able to get a good deal.
Yeah. Indeed. Send us your question. Scenarios like this, they're real life examples. And everybody has different necessities.
I think it's fun to talk about like real life things.
Interesting.
It's interesting. I mean, I wish people would send us more comments and stuff like that, and we could be able to discuss them. Because, you find out things that, I don't know, like you didn't know.
Totally.
So that's it for today.
We'll see you guys next time.